Capcom gives the 3DS some much-needed support with Resident Evil The Mercenaries 3D. This isn't your traditional Resident Evil experience, but rather an expanded take on the series' popular Mercenaries mode that's been spun off into its own game. It spans 5 chapters with nearly 30 levels based on popular maps featured in Resident Evil 4 and 5, and your goal is to fend off endless waves of enemies and stay alive while racking up a high score. The result is a distinctly more single-minded Resident Evil experience. Most will make short work of the game by burning through it in a few hours, but you're baited into grinding through levels repeatedly with a handful of dangling carrots. This artificially inflates the length of the game, and aside from unlocking new characters, doing so is ultimately not worth the effort. You can also extend the game by jumping into co-op mode via local or online Wi-Fi. Despite some latency issues and no versus mode or leaderboards, Mercs is at its best when playing with a friend in the multiplayer matches. The controls and setup are similar to Resident Evil 5's system, but a few minor tweaks, including the ability to strafe, utilize first-person aiming, and move while firing or reloading, keeps things moving at a brisk pace. However, your character still moves like a tank, and in a fast-paced environment, this type of handling simply feels archaic. Not that it ultimately matters, as enemies display incredibly poor AI. Except on the most difficult missions, they'll just hang back and allow you to have your way with them. The game takes a lot of shortcuts to achieve the illusion of high visual fidelity. The frame rate will frequently dip below optimal levels, and objects in the distance look cheap and goofy. Merc's sound design is equally bad, gunshots sound like weak pops, the voice work is muffled and of low quality, and the explosions lack any real gusto.
Show yourself!
The soundtrack is upbeat and complements the action, but it's composed entirely of rehashed tunes from older games. There's not quite enough meat on this bone to satisfy the appetites of starved 3DS owners, so resist the temptation to bite. You should also be warned that there's only a single save file that can never be deleted, so proceed at your own risk. Capcom's certainly capable of delivering a better game than this quick and dirty rush job.